It was fall season 2023. Among the list of shows that were released such as Spy X Family Season 2, Shield Hero Season 2, Goblin Slayer Season 2, man, there were a lot of second seasons. Amidst all the shows that were released in that season, two brand new shows stood atop the rest. One of them, Frieren Beyond's Journey's End, a story about an elf girl who was part of the hero party that defeated the Demon King. A story about the value of time, cherishing every single moment we spend with the people we love and the memories we made along the way with them. A thought-provoking show that would leave you in awe from its gorgeous visuals, hyped up with its incredible fight scenes, and sob in sadness from the memories of Frieren's past. Truly one of the best shows in recent years. The other show is a show similar to those Korean dramas your Asian parents like to watch. Apothecary Diaries came out of nowhere when it was first announced, with only a promotional art and a synopsis to get people's attention. It was enough to pique my interest, and so when the show did come out, I ended up watching it. From the very first episode, I knew this was going to be a special show. This show was going to be one to watch that year. The fact that it stood toe-to-toe with Frieren for 24 episodes, as well as shining in the winter season with shows like Soul Leveling and Dungeon Meshi, showed that this was not just a good show, this was a great show. And with season 2 almost over, for me, Apothecary Diaries is one of the best shows you can watch right now. How this show came from out of nowhere to being one of the must-watch shows of this generation needs to be talked about. Not by me though, because I just want to glaze this show even further. I wasn't sure about making this video because a lot of people have talked about Apothecary Diaries, and based on past experiences, when I make a video about popular shows, they don't really do well when it comes to views. But the purpose of this channel was for me to talk about the things that I love, and I love Apothecary Diaries, and I just really want to talk about it and glaze the show even further. And so here I am talking to the people on the internet why I love Apothecary Diaries, and I just want to talk about this show because I love this show and I just want to give you guys my thoughts on it. As usual, as per my anime videos, and because I'm not original, I want to start by talking about its animation because the show really stands out when it comes to their animation. The series is made as a collaboration between Ulm and Toho Animation Studios. Yes, the Toho behind One Piece. This is the very first series where they are directly a part of the animation team. So with Ulm's expertise and the money from Toho, you wouldn't be surprised that the animation is fucking gorgeous. Shows like Solo Leveling, Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer for example are shonen shows that have moments that gives them the chance to flex their animation muscles with pure hype and adrenaline. Even shows like Frieren and Dungeon Meshi have action and tense moments that allow the animators to flex their skills. The difference between those shows and Apothecary Diaries is that Apothecary Diaries has none of that. While it does have tense moments, it's way more grounded than the other shows and it doesn't have a big fight scene. Despite that, I think Apothecary Diaries is one of the prettiest anime that I've seen that is not done by Kyoto Animation. A lot of that comes down to the use of color and lighting in the show. On first glance, the show looks like any other anime, but when you start to watch the show and look closely, you start to see the attention to detail in the show. The way the creases of the shirts fold, the lighting coming from the windows, the bright colors of the dresses, among a lot of other details that brings the show to life. It doesn't need a big moment to flex the animation because every single scene flexes the animation. This also leads me to the character design. This show is set in medieval China, focusing a lot on palace women and the emperor's concubines. So it is important for these characters to look good, and most of the known characters look amazing. Gyokyo, Lihua, Aruo, just to name a few of the emperor's concubines, look incredible, not just because of their facial beauty, but also how they dress, how they are adorned with these beautiful Chinese inspired dresses, which is important as they are women chosen by the emperor. And that's just the concubines, not even mentioning characters like Mao Mao, Shisui, and some of the other characters in the show that look incredible and look gorgeous in their own right. Even the guys look really good. The craziest stuff about all the stuff that I mentioned is that season 2 takes it up a notch. Season 2 looks somehow better than season 1. Season 1 to me already has a 10 out of 10 animation, but season 2 has like a 20 out of 10 animation. It looks absolutely gorgeous. But that's enough about the animation. You get it. It looks good. What about the story? I wouldn't just glaze a show just because of its looks. Of course not. I'm better than that. At least, I think I am. Apothecary Diaries is a show that follows Mao Mao, who was kidnapped and sold into the imperial court. Due to her knowledge of medicine and her curious nature, she gets roped into solving different mysteries that occur within the rear palace, helping important figures in the imperial court. As you can tell by the synopsis, the show is a mystery show. And speaking for me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of mystery shows. They're just not my type of show. But what I love about the mysteries in Apothecary Diaries are the subject matter the show deals with and the overarching mystery of the show. It deals with really intense subject matter, not just murder, but suicide, prostitution, pedophilia, just to name a few of the more unpleasant things the show deals with. What I like about Apothecary Diaries and the mystery it deals with and the subject matter it deals with is that it makes sense when you consider when and where the show takes place in. The show takes place not just in medieval China, but in the real palace, a part of the royal palace where women are taken, either bought or given by prominent families to serve in the palace, with those chosen being among the emperor's concubines. So you have some events that happen that were covered up because the people involved are not just high-ranking officials, but even royalty. That, coupled with the political intrigue, I find that much more interesting than watching mystery shows set in more modern settings, especially with how grounded Apothecary Diaries has been for the most part. Not to mention the overarching mystery the show has. The show really rewards people that pay attention and remember the details mentioned in the show. Some are obvious hints, passing comments, and such, but when that moment comes when it all just clicks, it is one of the most rewarding part of the series because as a viewer, you realize all that exposition wasn't just to fluff out the show, they were vital to the story and the characters. The anime so far has 50 episodes covering 4 out of 15 volumes at the time of me recording this. At least I think it covers 4 because the first season covered only 2 of the light novel volumes, and from what I can find online, the second season also covers only 2 of the light novel volumes, but I could be wrong. Let me know down in the comments below if I am wrong. But that's just what I found on the internet. I don't know for sure. I haven't read the light novels myself, as you can tell, but I have heard the praise from people that have read the light novel for the show and how the show really takes its time in covering every detail from the light novel without dragging things out. Even as an anime only fan, I could tell the show does really well in introducing little details because at the end of the day, this is mystery show and sometimes the little details matters in mystery shows, and the show does really well at presenting these little details without dragging the story out. If you're a light novel reader, that must be really great to see an anime adapt faithfully to the light novel adaptation. That must be really great. I just wish some other light novel adaptations would follow suit. Am I right, Konosuba fans? Am I right? We wish we had this level of adaptation. Now, I have talked a lot about the show, a lot of good things, and due to how long this video already is, I'm not going to talk about the characters, but long story short, I like the characters. I think they're really great. And although this video is primarily about me glazing Apothecary Diaries, me talking praise about Apothecary Diaries, I have to be kind of objective as per usual when it comes to these anime videos. I like to be objective, and despite all the praise I've given, there are some negatives that I feel about the show. For starters, as much as I love Mao Mao, and this is not a slight on her character writing or anything, I think she's a really good character. She's a really good female lead. She's my favorite character in the show alongside Jinshi and Chisui. But my problem with Mao Mao is my general problem with mystery shows is that they solve crimes almost too easily at times. You might argue it's due to her knowledge and whatnot, but I don't know, it's a bit weird sometimes how much her knowledge extends way beyond medicine, especially when you consider what time it is. That said, I do like when she does struggle with certain cases or certain scenes. It makes the solve much more satisfying and it grows her character as well as other characters in the show. Another negative about the show is just the type of show it is. A lot of people got mad when Solo Leveling won Anime of the Year at the Crunchyroll Awards, which I was one of them. But the reason for that is it is a turn your brain off fun show, which Apothecary Diaries isn't. It is a show that is best watched with your full attention, and that might turn off some people. I know some of these negatives aren't really negatives, they sound very nitpicky, especially the second one, that's very nitpicky and that isn't even a negative. That's not Apothecary Diaries' fault, that's just the type of show it is. But I am explaining this with the assumption that you are wanting to watch Apothecary Diaries but you have no idea what the show is about. And so I just want to sort of explain what you're going into when you watch a show like Apothecary Diaries. Even though they're nitpicky, I have to point out some of the more negatives about the show, even though I absolutely adore the show. Apothecary Diaries is a show that I absolutely adore. I think it's a perfect 10 out of 10 show, and I really struggle with finding negatives about the show that won't sound nitpicky. It is genuinely one of the best shows I've seen in recent years and one of the best shows of this generation. From an animation standpoint, to the story, and to the characters, you find it very hard to find a show with this level of quality and attention to detail. With how popular the show is, I genuinely hope we get a full adaptation of the light novel. But if we don't, then you bet your ass I will be reading the light novel. If you reach the end of this video and you haven't watched Apothecary Diaries, or you're still on the fence about Apothecary Diaries, watch the first 3 episodes. If you don't like it, that's perfectly fine. But if you do like it, you're in for a really wild ride because this is a really good show. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I just wanted to talk about my love for Apothecary Diaries. That's about it. And yeah, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think, about this video, what you guys think about Apothecary Diaries. Do you like it, or maybe you don't like it? Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. Like this video if you enjoy, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.